Boom. We are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to see you guys again. Well, I can't see you. Maybe you can see me if anyone shows up. Tonight I figured I would do some sort of simple tutorial or another. Took Ritz crackers away. That was dinner with a little bit of cheese. And let's see here. So I think what we're gonna make is something to this effect. It's really simple. Might do a third wire on the bail. I kind of want a different look, but yeah, that's what we're going with. So, what will we need for this? I am going to go with all silver once again. I'm going to grab some 20 gauge. I am going to use a slight amount of half round. You do not need half round for this. You can do it without. And I'm going to say 26 gauge. And we'll use 26 gauge. It's all silver plated because I am just far too cheap to go with regular silver. So the next thing we got to do is pick out. Yeah, my crafting station is an absolute wreck. And it's pretty much always an absolute wreck. Organized slightly right now. You might want to have a pair of these nylon tips of some type. The huge square ones aren't going to be necessary. See here. I seem to have found them. We're going to want flat nose and round or needle nose or whatever you call these pliers. I also like to have these on hand just in case. So, part of me wants to do this purple and silver. I totally could too, but I'm not. I'm gonna open up the magical chest of jewels. What we're working with. And I'll pick out something fairly simple. Let's see here. Now, all my stuff is natural, but you can totally do this with regular cabochon. See, ooh, I kind of like that. Yeah, we're not going with that though. Are we? Are we going with that? Yeah, I get like this. And after decision has been made, we are going with this piece of red jasper. See if we can't get a little bit of light focus on it. So, boom, there we go. I don't need any more gears or anything. What's up, kitty? I have a cat that it's snowing outside. It's like bad snowing outside. So I have a random neighborhood cat that is now a friend because I have indoors. And I let the cat indoors. For a little bit. So I use way more wire than is necessary for these pieces and end up cutting it off. That said, I'd rather have more wire and just put some in my waste waste collection that I could do something with. So this is going to be about 11 inches, roughly, of 20 gauge wire. And there's one more thing I like to have on hand for this. See if I can find it real quick. We are going to cut 4 pieces of 20 gauge. Just give you a heads up. This will work. So I like having a cloth on hand because the amount of straightening you can get out of a cloth is wonderful. This can be done with square, and oftentimes I see it done with square. I didn't know you could really do it with something other than square wire, and square wire is expensive. I have not run across a piece of it in my local craft store yet. So, piece 2. And you can do this with as few as 2. You can also do it with as many as probably 5 or 6, I guess. Forged bale is going to become a real nightmare. Then again, you should see some of the things I end up working with. Where did you go? Yeah, I have a cat running around here. You never know with cats. No, should be fine, I'm sure. Yeah. Let's just bring a wild cat in the greenhouse. Brilliant. All right. And I have this piece left over. Goes in scrap. Which, like, my scrap drawer is something super special right now. Like, this just came out of my scrap drawer. I'm probably going to use this on my project somewhere. Okay. Oh, first things first. I'm going to flatten these out. I'm also going to grab the nylon tips. Being as I'm using this half round for this, again, this is something like I almost never find or have yet to find in a crafting store. It doesn't take a lot. Snips probably do it. So I usually start these off by getting half round, figuring out which way is the round side. And then I fold over my flat nose. If you're just using regular round wire, it doesn't matter. If you're using regular round wire, I would recommend 26 to 28 gauge. Later on in the video, and I fold mine in half, lining up all of the wires, and then I fold it over again, and then I flatten. And I make sure it's about in the middle. And we do it again. And we just curl it over. continuously. And I flatten this every time. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this part. And I'm going to randomly talk about stuff and things and stuff. I don't see anybody either, which is not surprising because I don't have like a bunch of subscribers or anything. Kitty, what are you doing? I'm running low on coffee. At some point, coffee may be necessary. And so what we're going to do with this is we're basically going to get this bottom part that's reinforced and holding these 4 wires together. We're going to make it about as wide as the stone, what I want covered. And I'm basically going to want the bottom of the teardrop. Let's see here. I suck at this part. Sorry guys, I'll get better. About that covers roughly. So yeah. Anyone else log into the SpaceX? Hey baby girl. What you doing? So the SpaceX cryo test, be severely disappointed. Like, don't you guys just launch rockets? No, I actually figured it wasn't going to be that rocket launch because I actually get what the word cryo is referring to. But you can always hope. You can always hope. And I just try to do this evenly on both sides. And so now we're looking like this. And that's because we're using half round. You go ahead and chill up there, kitty. Yeah. Just bring her. She ain't wild. She's a neighborhood cat, outside cat. But she oftentimes will end up getting to spend the night. So I get paid tonight. I'm going to have a particularly good night or a good month. I think I'm buying some wire. I kind of hope to buy enough wire to get all the way through the semester. Yo! Sorry, roommates. What's up? Yeah, 1 second. I was trying to do quiet for. Oh, you're cool. It's a live stream. It's gonna have to be one of the unfiltered because I'm keeping that last one for the morning. Drink back.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, is Sal still awake?
No.
Okay, let the cat just be the cat.
I love you, Kit Kat.
Sorry, it's a house effort. We love that cat. She's a real sweetie. All right, and still again, I will notice this thing will move on me continuously, and it's aggravating. So, make sure you're paying attention to how it's moving. Once in a while, you might want to use. Oh, Ooh, I can't believe that just happened. Half round, breaking. Delightful. Moving on. These things happen. And it doesn't have to be perfectly even. I'll move it over a little bit. And I will just continue on my journey. I use silver plated with everything. I'm pretty sure that this would look really cool with like aged copper. I noticed people do a lot of the oxidization, and to me that black look is awesome. I also like doing like my main style is a kind of like get done with this tutorial, I will probably go back to and probably be super boring. Also, I don't know what I'm doing when I do these steampunk stuff. Like, I literally have this like this just I don't know. This is gonna look kind of cool, I think. State of mind on it, and I roll with it. This is just so hard to like keep positioned, get positioned. You notice I take my pliers to this. When I'm not doing a live tutorial, I actually do it on every wrap. Like every time a thing makes a turn around the wires, I'll go flatten that. It really leaves you with more uniform setup. Where'd that break at? Which side do I want? So, where that broke at, I'm gonna like move it up because you want both of your like endings to be on one side. This is a point where I will take the silver plated stuff will scratch if you are not careful with it. So anyway, we have finished that piece, that part. So we have this now, and I'm gonna have this set like that. So we're gonna start shaping it. This can be a real difficult process, especially if you're working with like just a polished rock and your workstation's atrocious. Sword. Yeah, I know. Go squirrel. I am working on that still. Okay then, so I'm going to hold this one place. Sometimes I'd almost like to use the clamp, and it's the time that the clamp would be like pretty much useless. Okay, so this kind of went sideways for a moment. So that. Let's see here. Yeah, once again, please excuse me for a second. I might go offline or off, like, for a second. Sorry, I have to make sure. I apologize for that. Okay. Try to mold that so that the rock is going to fit in there. And each piece evolves somewhat. So, especially like every steampunk piece I do, like I have an awesome idea and then I start on it and then I do some things, I do some more things. And next thing I know, the piece that I have sitting in front of me is not the piece that I had in mind in the first place at all. So now we're going to take that piece of scrap that I had. I mean, it's long enough. What a length that I would call a bow pull. And where this happened. So apparently neither is my internet. So my bad on that, guys. And I'm going to simply wrap around. I'm also going to separate out the pieces of this, which can be like magic in its own right. Okay, so you know what? I don't like how I did this. This is going to be a better backside. Wrap this around. And I'm going to do a few circles. Okay, so I'm going to wrap on whatever is going to end up my back a little bit, because this ensures that it's not going to go nowhere. Should be really bad. And we're going to try and neatly coil up all of these. Again, is somewhat difficult. And I just hold it with my finger. For this piece, I'm noticing it's a similar width. Thankfully, these will slide. Okay. So we've got this tightly wrapped, and I'm going to come around to what I've chosen to be the backside. And I'm going to put a couple of wraps down, see if on one of these wires. And there we go. I'm going to cut this off and I'll use it in something else because I have a feeling it's not going to be long enough for my bail, which I'm going to do now. Now, I'm really, really hoping that this turns out as nicely as my last one did. First thing I'm going to do on this, like as of now, is try to shove the rock in the wrong way. Then after I remember which way I want it in there, I'm going to put it in. Actually, I'm just going to come take my square wires, grab the back wire in this. Let's see if I can't get there. So I'm going to grab this wire. And I'm simply going to twist it in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side with the other wire. I'm going to do that. Don't worry, it's not the COVIDs. Then I'm going to go around to the front. And really cool trick, I can pull on these pieces and one by one, and it tightens the piece. And honestly, it's almost in, but not quite. Plus, I just don't like the way it was feeling, so we're gonna move two pieces up. And I'm gonna do kind of the same thing where I twist that in. Now it looks like this. Honestly, it's just like a cage, really. And it's in there. It's in there real good. Bail. Now for the bail. Oh, I want to add purple into this so bad. Sorry, I am a purple like fiend. I love purple. I have purple just sitting around on my desk. I have a purple coil that has no purpose right now. Like, I love purple. So I'm going to do another, again, what I call a bow pull, where it's from, the wire fully extended out to my cheek. And we're going to cut that. Now do I want to do... So I'm going to test something on this. I'm going to put a third one sticking up because my pieces have a certain look to them. And I can try to keep with it. And this is one of those looks. I give thanks to the very nice young, I want to say girl. It's kind of a couple, though. Again, I don't know that I can name drop them, but I've got to send an email, so. Boom. Reminders. So I got that thing. All right, and then I'm going to cut off my tail. It's just going to fly somewhere, of course. And get these 3 wraps together. And I'm going to slide it all the way down. That's going to be super difficult to show properly. Maybe it won't be. How this one works. I have another one that's going to be difficult to show how it works one of these days. But I actually look forward to it because I actually have not seen anybody use it. So, our cable, this is going to be wire 1, middles 2, uppers 3. So the cable's on 2 right now. It's coming out between 1 and 2. We're going to go up around 2 and 3. All the way around the back. Come back around. Go back down underneath cable, or between cable 2 and 3. Then we're going to come up between cable 1 and 2. Is it going to work? Down. Yeah, it's going to work. And down beneath cable 2 and 3. Let's see if. So, then we do the same thing. We come up and around to the top 2. I often will separate these a bit just to help me out. When you're pulling a little tight, it tightens them for you. Around those 2. Go. Try to do this a couple more times, like on video, but it is really difficult to pull off in a way that like you can see what I'm doing exactly because of how the focusing works. So up, round, over cable 3, under between cable 2 and 1, or wire 2 and 1, back up between 2 and 3, down underneath 1, come up around cable 2, between cable 2 and cable 3, back out underneath between 2 and 1. And it's going to give us this look. It's a little bit of a rougher look, almost gear-like. It is one of my favorites for bales that I don't personally, sorry, I have a bad leg, so standing like that the whole time is pain. I do not personally do the figure 8 weave where it widens out into a bale very well. Let me grab an example real quick. That's an example. You can see on this that the front looks okay, but then I get around to the back, and as it's coming back down, I begin to have issues with it. It doesn't work out, and this piece worked out pretty well. Trying to find another that's gone, but I rarely do that particular weave. So this is the same type though. You can see as it gets wider it's fine, but as it's going down, like, I'll have mistakes. I don't personally like that. Since we're here, right now I'm calling it my New Year's tree because Christmas is over, and honestly, I like New Year's more anyway. But take a second. So that's the shop. Please pay no mind to the Trump hat in the back. So I don't know if any of you ever watched Sons of Anarchy, where like shows how bikers will like beat up other bikers and take their vests and call that a win. Well, I didn't beat the person up, but my candidate won, so I got the patch. I don't think that's how it really played out. I think they just sent it to me as a Christmas present to be like, yeah. Because technically my candidate didn't actually win either. But the last thing I want to talk about on this channel is politics. I have other outlets for politics, and am more than happy to discuss politics there, but not here. 37 minutes, and I am still by myself. I wonder if, I think I was calling him Div. I wonder if he'll show up. He was cool. Guy from India. Really smart physics student. Like, I'm a physics student, but I'm aiming towards being a physics student. And this guy just, like, blew me out of the water. Yeah, it's simple. See, I like doing pieces like this, like, real quick. I'm gonna grab some pieces because just so I can explain. Well, yeah, that whole thing isn't good. So yeah, these are like what I really love doing. It is what I consider my art. Like, I plan to be putting a skeleton watch onto something here in the next couple days. But I need stock pieces because by and by, most people aren't really huge fans of paying $150, $200 for a piece. And yeah, sorry, we'll get back to the tutorial now. The whole reason I'm doing this live stream. And this bale is gonna need to be long enough to, I was told by a girl who really likes rocks, as she told me, that I met in town because she decided to buy one of my first wire wraps, actually. Like one of the first serious wire wraps that I had done. She told me it was amazing, and actually the one that I wrapped with it, I just sold recently. And funny story, I sold it like way underpriced. Like 65-70% off of what I was selling it for. But the person was economically on hard times, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I could afford this." And I was like, "Well, how much do you got?" I could tell. They're like, "I only got $10 that I could spare," and I was like, "Well, you can afford it then." They were blown away. They were really happy about that. Sometimes I'll even just go give pieces out. But yeah, like I need to have stock items in my store and Etsy shop, which my Etsy shop is celestialreach.etsy. Like yeah, went through the wrong .com. Whoops. Do that. Once in a while I get mixed up in this. And that is the pattern that we get. I really like it for what I normally do. Except for when I make a mistake like that. If you notice it, and well, if your wire's not like crap, I've recently been blessed enough to buy some good wrapping wire, which tonight I get paid and I plan to buy more. But if you have really good wire and it's only 2-3 rotations back, maybe go back and fix it. You don't have to. You do what you want. Like sometimes that little mistake, I don't want anything I make to look like it's machine made. I want everything to look like there's a human touch in it. One of the reasons I really like those not cyberpunk, steampunk. I do like the cyberpunk look too, and yeah. Oh, there goes my phone. Give me a moment, please. Rhonda. Oh shit! I shouldn't be name dropping people. Oh well. She shows up anyway sometimes. Yes, I am holding that in my mouth. I do sanitize my pieces before putting them out. That was the wrong bottle. I actually have a bottle. My university that I go to provides free sanitizer. Oh, I don't want to do this as a part two, but my best friend has been going through some rough stuff, and so not that there's anybody here anyway. So I mean, it's not the end of the world, I guess, if I do decide to do this as a part or a two-part, because I'll literally set this piece down and just finish it up. Although, if you're watching this video, that probably might be nice for you because I'll have the bale like all done at that point. So you won't have to sit here while I painstakingly wrap this. But yeah, enjoying the day. It's super cold here today, but this is Montana, and it is super cold here a lot. That is why we bring kitties in, because it gets cold. Ugh. Yeah, I know, I'm typing. If you're... She told me to finish the live stream, but I really do care about my friends. And so if they're so much as like having a bad day, I am totally down to like drop a lot of what I'm doing so I can be like, hey, what's going on? Is there any way I can help you? Hell, last month I ended up, although I needed the vacation, but I went and got a jacuzzi suite. And my best friend, I was like, hey, bro, well, I've got two best friends. I've got a best friend here that I've been through a lot with over the last like year, and then I've got one that like 12 years we've gone through stuff. Yeah, little about me. But yeah, so I don't have a whole lot of friends. So when I do make friends, and I feel like I can trust them, which is really, really rarely, but it happens. Yeah. Anyway, crafting. So I feel like that angle is just too much. I'm gonna lessen it a little bit on each side. So the stone is still like heavily secured. as you can see, I just moved in those wires because I'm staring at it. I just don't like how it's looking. Dick. Huh. I need a bale measure. And in my like super professionalism that is going on in this operation, I'm just gonna use this like broken bit of a screw. And look at that. My bale is absolutely to be put together. So the way that I learned to do this recently, and I did mine quite differently, is yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore that for a moment, slowly. Oh yeah, I am officially texting over, and the way she said she does it, I bet I can. And the person that I'm referencing is kind of a pro at this, so she wraps. Let me minimize this. So this back one, that's the back of our bale, up under and over like that. And then back into the fray of wires that we've got going on here. So I'm also going to make a quick wrap around, and then what I'm going to do is turn this into what I call a sewing needle, or surgery like stitches, and swoop it up and underneath. Careful not to get caught in those. I'm going to do that at least once more. And okay, then I'm going to cut it out. Snip. Huh, look at that. I got more wire to use later. Okay, also, so it's trying to stick out on me. I don't like that. It leaves a rough edge. And since that's my backside, I'm just using some metal pliers and boom, there we go. So now, let's see. How did that go? Okay, sorry about that blackout again. I'm going to twist this over. And then look at this. Yeah. Now, I have unintentionally made a heart looking thing, but I am going to pretty much completely ignore that. I've also gone the wrong way, so see how this turns out. And now I'm going to do that twist here again. And let's see here. Then I'm going to separate them out. I'm probably going to cut a good deal of this off. And this is where these are going to come in. So, cut that there. We'll see how this works out. Might be a little long. We'll see. And I'm going to take this. I need to find a way to get better lighting for this project. And I'm going to twist it, and I'm going to be real careful about it, over into a spiral. I'm not going to let it come undone. And then I'm just going to move it up a bit. Kind of keeping it tight. I'm just going to let it place itself in a lot of ways. Then I'm going to go to the other side. And I'm going to cut off a piece. Whoops. You may have heard that just hit a monster can. And we're going to do the same thing for the most part. Except for it's going to get like right there, and I'm probably going to be okay with that. I don't know. This is always a thing of evolution. Like, This is like water, as the great Bruce Lee once said. When you're doing these type of things, you gotta just let it be like water. Like constructing the frame and how you get that set, and like the idea of having a bale, and that's one thing. That's your like rocket science part. But when it comes to art, you want to be like water. You let it flow. If you run into an obstacle, move around it and over it, and sometimes on it. You just let it move and let it take its own shape. Rarely will you be disappointed by it. So I just moved that one up. And I'm tightening on this one just a bit. Like a lot of bit. And see, and yeah. Okay, so here's the awesome thing about wire. I don't like how that looks. I want it smaller. I'm cutting off a lot. And I'm just going to simply redo it. And I like how that looks now. I think I want the same thing over here. Hell, I want the same thing here even. So I'm cutting off another chunk. And again, you can do your spirals like however size you want them. I feel like I want them a little smaller. Yeah, that's just me. Okay, so it's like I said, these things will evolve on you, and you just kind of gotta go with the flow on it. Let's see here, how do I want this one to go? You know what? So I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna come in on this one, and let's see. Well, let's see where this heads. I think. Ooh. Got some more swirl and flow into it with what just happened there. And again, like I'm just shaping this like however I feel it's natural. Not that one. So I gotta find the right one. It's gonna be up here because I'm gonna cut it. And I'm gonna do. And I'm just going with it at this point. This style that I'm doing, while I think it looks cute, it's not like my best style that I have going for me. Because I have seen other people do this, and they rock my socks with how they managed to pull this stuff off. Their stuff looks amazing. Okay, so I see a big gap here, and I'm going to try and fix that. Let's see if I can't. Yes, I see that gap up in there, and I want to fix that. So I'm going to take the wire that's running closest to it, and cut it off, and I'm going to try and swirl it up into it. I'm going to try and swirl it the opposite direction of some previous wires. Seriously, have no idea what I'm doing right now. This does not look as good as a lot of other people's work. But it has my touch to it. I'll say I like my touch. I got a cool touch. I got 2 more of these left. I'm going to just tuck this one underneath. And again, like, I don't even know why I'm like giving these instructions. Like, I know what I'm doing on this part. This is not what I know how to do. Going through my scrap bin, finding pieces that go in my steampunk thing, maybe I might know a thing or two about that. Retaking algebra in college? Let me know. That might be one of my things. All right, and I want this one to be much higher up because I've got it going down this side, so I'm actually going to swirl this up there as much as I possibly can. After it does its little whirly, after it goes on the whirly dirly. All right, and there we go. It's definitely different from this one, but they both have their similarities. And yeah, so thank you for being here for this tutorial, and sorry so much of it was so crazy long. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'm gonna try and call my friend, and I'll probably be back to do more late night crafting. End stream.